6 years ago, I built my first ever PC with Ryzen 3 3200G, and to me it was everything. But then I had to move abroad to study, so I didn't have any rig with me. Until recently, I spent 3 months hunting down parts from Facebook Marketplace to build a tiny PC for couch gaming with my TV. But first, you may know that PC building world is in chaos. Components price have skyrocketed, especially RAM and SSD, and it's gonna get even worse. That's why Facebook Marketplace hunting is the only way for me. Waiting for a good deal, negotiating, and hoping that the components actually work. And mission accomplished. For just 17,300 baht, around $517, I accidentally built a PC that outperforms Steam Machine for half the price. And for basically the same size, this marketplace PC offers double the storage, better gaming performance, more stable 4K gaming experience, while pulling similar power draw, making it the ultimate couch gaming PC. And here's how I built that. To make this happen, sticking with AM4 platform was the best move. Going with the newest platform meant paying DDR5 memory that would cost half of my budget. And having a solid AM4 motherboard was the perfect way to start this journey. Which is why I picked this ASRock B550M ITX. It has plenty of port, supports PCIe Gen 4 for both the GPU and SSD with built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and it can handle up to the absolute best M4 CPUs available, securing future upgradability. You normally find this board new for around 5,000 baht. Luckily, I found someone listed a brand new one with reasonable price, and after negotiating, I paid 3,000 baht for it, which is a great deal to start this project. For the RAM, I got a 16GB kit Fury Beast DDR4 running at 3200 MHz, which is the absolute sweet spot for this platform. These kits usually sit around 3,500 to 4,500 baht brand new, but on the second-hand market, you can find them for half the price. Somewhere under 2,000 baht is reasonable in this economy. For the one I got, it cost 1,700 baht, which is a solid deal. For the brain of this PC, I went with the undisputed goat of budget gaming CPUs, the Ryzen 5 5600. It was a no-brainer for me, and honestly, the gaming performance is still comparable to some budget M5 CPUs.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
A new one scales up to 4,500 baht, while in Facebook Marketplace, people usually list them around 3,500. But if you're patient enough, you can find them somewhere around 2,500 or less. I snagged this one for just 2,300 baht after a small discount.
Nice.
Next is the storage. I got a 1TB SN850X. This isn't just any ordinary storage. This is one of the fastest Gen 4 SSD on earth, and slightly faster than the one in Steam Machine, retailing for over 6,000 baht. Where in general, a 1TB Gen 4 SSD sits around 5,000 to 7,000 new. Or you can find one for somewhere under 3,000 baht in Marketplace. Initially, I was just looking for a basic 500GB drive for around 1,000 baht and found a listing for a Kingston NV2, but I missed it. Luckily though, the seller offered me this high-end SSD instead for only 2,000 baht, and it came with 100% health.
Shut up and take my money!
Now for the most expensive part of any build, the GPU. I went with the RTX 4060. It's an underrated card, I would say. It is only one generation old. It supports DLSS 3, which is a massive advantage for 4K couch gaming, outperforming Steam Machine's GPU. Plus, with only 115 watts power draw. It is very small but powerful.
Hey, that's what she said.
A brand new single fan RTX 4060 was sitting around 10,000 baht. In my case, I got this Galax RTX 4060 for 6,700, including shipping. I took the risk of doing shipping because the seller was very cooperative, even though I always prefer self-pickup for anything if it's possible. But not gonna lie, the card arrived in pristine condition. To house it all, I'm using a modded SKTC A07 case. This chassis is quite popular among small form factor PC builders. It's pretty solid for a budget case, having a total volume of 4.3 liters, which is just slightly bigger than the Steam machine, costing around 2,000 baht. On Marketplace, I stumbled on a custom modded version of this case featuring 3D printed panels. I paid just 800 baht, shipping included. And it even came with a PCIe 4 riser cable instead of the older 3.0, which is a massive win. It looked great, but to clean up some scratches and to give my own taste, I did a little paint job to breathe a new life into it. To cool down the CPU, I picked up this Jonsbo HP400S, since the tiny case can only fit a 37mm low profile cooler. I got this one straight from the local ITX community. I simply posted what I was looking for, and someone actually stepped up. I paid 500 baht for it, which is still better than paying 800 baht for a brand new one. And finally, the PSU, the component you should never cheap out, but I did. Ideally, you can get an FSP or a 350W enhanced, which are more reliable PSU, for around 3,000 baht. I actually found one on Marketplace, but I hesitated and missed it. But for starter, I think this budget unit is good enough. Once again, I bought this straight from the community forums. Thankfully, it has an excellent track record. The previous owner has tested it with a Ryzen 7600 and RTX 5060 system, and my friend has tested it on his own setup with Ryzen 5600 and RX 6600 XT. So for only 300 baht, I give it a shot and just pray it doesn't explode. Look at this beauty. In total, I spent 17,300 baht while basically saving the same amount of money by not buying any parts brand new. Before doing anything crazy, I ran a hardware check, and I'm so relieved. All the components are exactly what the sellers listed. The CPU is looking cool, the SSD is very healthy, the GPU is sharp, so I didn't get any scammed at all. Nice. Now to see how this $500 rig actually compete against a $1,000 console, I'm going to refer to the official benchmarking data from Gamers Nexus and Digital Foundry. Let's start with the CPU battle. The Steam Machine's mobile processor slightly outperforms my Ryzen 5600 in single-core speeds, but when it comes to multi-core points, desktop architecture takes over. In the 7-zip benchmark, my 5600 leaves the Steam Machine way behind, So round 1 goes to the marketplace build. But gaming performance is where the real accident happened. With this tiny single fan RTX 4060, my system completely outclasses the Steam machine. First, I ran the Black Myth Wukong benchmark at 1080p high with ray tracing off. My PC cleared the Steam machine by a massive 10 FPS average. It even pulled identical frame numbers to GamerNexus' own RTX 4060 reference system, which was tested on a much more expensive test bench. Then, with the ray tracing on medium and FSR in quality, the Steam machine completely collapses. Its mobile architecture just has no chance to keep up, choking down to a very unplayable 14 FPS average. Meanwhile, my tiny PC achieving a smooth 49 FPS average, completely matching the desktop 4060 reference again. And get this, I was pulling these numbers while actively undervolting the GPU. Here's the side-by-side comparison between stock settings and Undervolt.
She must miss you being away from home.
It runs significantly cooler,
She's dead.
draws less
Taking
wattage,
her ashes to the highest peak in the realms.
and delivers the exact same killer performance.
I'm sorry for your loss.
So what about higher resolutions? For the 4K gaming test, I put up God of War using a mix of ultra and high settings. With DLSS set to quality, I was effortlessly sitting around 50 to 60 FPS, occasionally speaking up to 70 FPS in lighter
Can't believe
scenes.
I'm here. Doing all... Mom said he's friendly.
What does it say?
Next, I tested Hogwarts Legacy using similar high and ultra mix settings with DLSS quality and frame gen on. I got a locked constant 60 to 70 FPS, all while the GPU sat comfortably at 72 degrees Celsius and drew around 100 watts.
This is great.
Where in total, the system wattage is only slightly higher than the Steam machine. Well, I take that as a win. And don't forget, my rig has double the storage capacity than the standard Steam machine, while highly upgradable thanks to the motherboard. Now, to be totally fair, the Steam machine runs a lot quieter. Honestly, nothing in the tiny PC world can really compete with how they engineered that box to be. But in the real world, it's not a problem for me. Every single time I sit down to play games, the minor fan noise from my PC is completely covered up by the speakers and the ambient hum of my room's AC. So for a $500 beast, I think I can live with a little extra breeze. At the end of the day, the numbers speak for themselves. You can pay over $1,000 to have your hardware limited to 30-watt eco mode, or you can spend $500, hunt down some quality used parts, and get a full power desktop experience that absolutely slaps. What you need is just a little patience on Facebook Marketplace. Comment down what deals you're finding out there. Bye. Please post it. Please post it. Oh my god, this is happening. This is happening. Oh my god, man. Let's go. Let's go.